then we can. All right, now what I would like for you to do, I'm sure some of you know what square roots and I'm sure some of you know what cube roots are, but we're just going to review something. So off to the side, all right, what I want you to write down is 1 squared. Who can tell me what 1 squared is? Tell me. 1. And then someone tell me what 1 cubed is. 1. So everybody can write that down. All right, let's see how many you know. All right, so 2 squared is not a big deal. 2 squared is, and 2 cubed is what? 8. Everybody happy with that? All right, so then 3 squared, everybody knows is 9, and then 3 cubed is what? 27. Right, it's 27. Right, give it a shot. Okay, so you can kind of see the patterns. What's the matter? Thank you, Max. All right, 4 squared is what? 16. A little bit harder now. 4 cubed. You might know 64. Very good. All right, now 5 squared. 25. And now 5 cubed. 125. Thank you. All right, think of that as 5 quarters. You got 5 quarters, right? Now 6 squared, obviously. 36. Now 6 cubed starts getting a little bit harder. 6 cubed, I believe, is 216. All right. 7 squared, obviously. 49. 7 cubed. 343. That is correct. All right. Now 8 squared. We know that one. 64. And of course, I don't expect most people to know 8 cubed, but I know it's 512. And then 9 squared, 81. Man, my pencil's having trouble today. Hold on. And then 9 cubed is 729. And then 10 squared is, and then 10 cubed is 1,000. All right. Now, generally, once you get past that, I mean, 11 squared, some people know is 121. 11 cubed, there's a pattern to those, so that's not real hard. 1, 3, 3, 1. All right. But does everybody see how the cubes are getting bigger pretty fast, right? So again, those are not as important. In other words, the calculator is totally fine. Now, I think most people know 12 squared is what? 144. And then I believe most people can even tell me what 13 squared is.
169.
Yeah. And then 14 squared. And then 15 squared. 225. And then 16 squared.
256.
Right, 256. All right, so again, it's not that that's important, but it's just if you did your multiplication facts, a lot of times you did the 15s, right? And so if you know that, that's pretty good. Now, the reason why I wrote that down is because these numbers right here, all of these over here, can anybody tell me what these are called?
Multiple? Square root of numbers. Like if you were to divide it by the number.
Those are called perfect squares. Those are called perfect squares. All right. What?
Isn't that how you like find out the square root of them?
What?
You just like look at the answer and then what, if you like have two of the same number that won't like answer?
That's what a square root is. The square root is asking what number times itself is that number. All right. So if I want to undo a perfect square, in other words, if I wanted to work backwards, we would do the what?
Square root.
We would do the square root. So if I said, what's the square root of 1? You would tell me it's what?
1.
1. If I said, what's the square root of 4? You would tell me it's, if I said, what's the square root of 9? You would say 3. Come on, no daydreaming, because this is really easy if you understand. Really easy. Right? Now, what I want everybody to do is I want everybody to understand the square root. Technically, if I do the square root, there's a little 2 up in the corner, but we just don't write it. Okay. Now, how do I undo a cube? We take the cube root, is what they call. So if I say, what's the cube root of 8? Everyone would tell me that's what? 2. If I say, what's the cube root of 27? You would tell me that's what? 3, right? And the reason why it's 3 is because 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. All right, is everybody okay with that? So these are perfect squares, and these are called perfect what? These are cubes, right? Those are cubes. Sorry, my pen is just really acting up. All right. And those are just the numbers that you kind of should know to make your life easier. All right. And again, we're going to try to do it without a calculator, and then I'm going to let you use a calculator. All right. So bear with me. And this is just a better understanding now of just a different type of number. Now, we already did this. These are called, if they're not perfect squares or they're not perfect cubes, these are called irrational numbers. And we'll talk about that more again tomorrow, just to make sure. All right, but let's everybody take a look up here now. And we're just going to go around the room. All right, I'm going to see how we're doing. So Aiden, if I said, what's the square root of 1, you would just tell me it's what? 1. All right. If I said the square root of 9, Miss Holland, you would just tell me it's what? 3. All right. And then if I said the square root of 25, it would be 5. All right. Very easy. Mikey, 7. What's the matter?
I didn't hear what was in the.
Well, you tell me what the question is.
Oh, it's fine.
Okay. You don't have to know. Right. These are just straightforward, easy problems. All right, square root of 64, we would say 8. Keep along with me. Lila, square root of 169.
13.
Yes, you would look at your chart if you're not sure. We don't have to use our calculator right now. 13. All right, number 7. Uh-oh, we have a little bit of problem here. What's the square root of 36?
36 is 6.
Yes, but do you see the negative out in front?
-6.
So we just say -6. That's perfect. -6. All right. And then square root of 81, Max. 9. Perfect. Mr. Ward. -8. Thank you very much. All right, Maggie, you're on number 10.
-13.
Yes, -13. And now, well, look at your chart that you wrote down. I didn't know it. Right? I told you to write it down because I knew you were going to need it. Now you got to write them down. What's the square root of 196? 14. Now write them down. Come on, Austin. You got to follow directions like everybody else. All right, number 12.
-11.
Yep, -11. All right. What?
That's 15.
That is 15. All right. Now, of course, you got a tricky one. So take a shot. I didn't give you this one, but look at our numbers. Can you tell me what 20 times 20 is? What's 2 times 2? How much?
400.
Yeah, 400. So do you agree it's kind of close? So then your guess would be what? 21, because it ends in a 1, right? So 1 times 1, right? So that is correct. That is 21. All right. Now, Aiden, back up here. Do you know the square root of 625?
25.
You're amazing, 25. Even if you didn't know, that would be a pretty good guess. All right. Now, let's see where we're at. Ooh, 289. What are you thinking? And again, I don't want you using a calculator. I don't want you using a calculator for this. I want you to try to say, hey, I think a good educated guess would be something around here. All right. What are you thinking? Now look at all of our other examples. Is it? Yay, girl. Good job. Very good. Now, what does this symbol mean? It could be either a positive 17 or a what? Yes. So we're going to say plus or minus 17. Plus or minus 17. That's a new symbolism. All right. It can be either one of those. All right. Here we go. 324. I don't think we did that one. What are you thinking? Yes. Yes, that's a good job. Well, look at 16. What was 16?
16 is 256.
And we did 17 was 289.
Yeah,
So are we getting close?
yes, we're getting closer.
Uh-huh. So
I believe we should go one more.
yeah,
18.
it is 18. All right. Plus or minus 18. Now my thought process is 8 times 8 ends in a 4, right? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So 18 times 18. Okay. 324. All right. Now over here, Mikey, plus or minus the square root of 8100. What do you think the square root of 8100 is?
Plus 90.
Yes, sir. Plus or minus 90. Very good. Now, generally, when you have zeros, you split them up. All right. So what you do is you say the square root of 81 is what? 9. And then you divide the zeros by 2. Okay. So that's how we knew it was 90. All right. Here we go. Sophia, let's, ooh, 2.25. What do you think? Trying to give you a hint. You see the number?
1.5.
Yay, girl. There you go. See, you don't have to know. Take good educated guess, because 1.5 times 1.5, it has to be 225, right? 15 times 15 is 225. Come on now, here's where I'm trying to make you smart with numbers. 15 times 15 is 225, right? So if we did 1.5 times 1.5, it still would be 225, but how many places would we move the decimal? 2. You'd move it twice. Bless you. So that's why we knew it was 2.25. Okay. So correct answer. She was correct. 1.5. All right. Uh-oh. Lila, what are you thinking about 0.16?
0.4.
You are amazing, girl. 0.4. That was nice. Very nice. Okay. Come on. What are you thinking? I want you to look back at the examples and see where you see the same number. Yes, you do. You got to look carefully. 3.24 is the same as what number up there? I'll give you a hint. Look at question 17. Yes, but now you got to put the decimal in the right spot. There you go, kiddo. Do you see that, right? Right, so it looks like the decimals are harder, but guess what? They're not. All right, they're not. Everybody okay with that? That's not too bad, right? And of course, you can double check that with your calculator, but we don't want to do that. We're trying to get better with numbers. All right, so now Max. Now it says use your calculator to round to 3 decimal places. So now I'm showing you how to use your square root on your calculator. All right. Now, your calculator, do the square root button. And then type in 38. Square root 38. What? You guys can figure this out now. Come on. Square root is with the square button, correct? But if you hit the button first, it's just going to be a square, right? So what button do you think you have to hit? The second button first. That's going to hit the second. All right. So everybody hit the second, and then square root should come up. And then you type in 38. And then Max, tell me what's on your calculator.
I have 6.6441.
Well, we round to 3 decimal places.
16.164.
6 point what? No, stop. I want him to help. I want to ask. You guys are,
I don't know the square root button.
okay. So you raise your hand, say, hey, I don't know where the square root button is. Do you see the square button? The square button looks like this. Look up on the board. Do you see that? Shh.
Yeah.
Right now, above that is this. So you have to hit the second and then hit that button and the square root key will come up. You hear me?
Yeah.
All right. So now I'm back to Max. 6 point what, Max? The 3 decimal places.
I have 6.164.
Anybody else get 6.164?
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Ward. Square root of 84. What? For number square root of 84. So you hit second, square, and then type in 84. $9.16 what? Everybody okay with 9.165?
Yep.
All right, here we go. Maggie, 24. Now this is also the approximate sign, guys. See the squiggly? Squiggly means approximately. That lets the person know that it's not exact, it's a rounded number. All right, so Maggie, what's that?
19.723.
Anybody else get 19.723? All right, here we go. Next, 25, square root of 5.
2.236.
Yes. Anybody else get that? All right, here we go. Next,
I got 10.863.
everybody okay with 10.863?
I got 2. Yeah, because you did my phone.
Wow, couldn't have said it better myself. Rounding, right? That's a 2, correct? The third decimal is a 2.
Yeah.
I got you. So now you look at the 4th spot, just as she's saying. And if it's 5 or more, it goes up 1. That's rounding. It's 10.8. Say it again. Is it 10.8637? Is that the numbers on your calculator? So when you round to 3 decimal places, you look to the number to the right. If it's 5 or more, it goes up 1. You with me?
Yeah.
So it should be 10.864.
No, it was a 2.
Oh, it was a 2. Okay. So that was, I just misheard you. Austin, are you good with that or not?
Yeah.
Okay. Who's doing square root of 230? Wilson,
15.166.
15.166. Austin, is that good now?
Yeah.
Okay. 28. Who's doing 28? Yes. Mackenzie.
-9.1160.
Okay, I'm happy with that. And back over here, Aiden, 29.
-4.359.
I'm happy with you.
-10.909.
-10.909. Okay, anybody have any issues? Anybody have any issues? All right, so here we go. Now we're doing cube roots. Now, cube roots, if it's negative inside, the answer is going to be what? Negative. Negative, because a negative times a negative times a negative is a what? Negative, right? Everybody okay with that? All right, so now I think we're up. Tell me about number 31. That's again why I had you write those things down. So what's the cube root of 64?
The cube root of 64, 64.
Look at your notes. Did you write? Which one? Did you do the cubes or not?
Yes, I did the cube.
All right, so
I'm
which
thinking
one?
of 36 times 2 right
No, you're supposed to just look. I wrote them down for a reason.
now. Oh, I wasn't looking in the right spot. There it is.
So what is it?
4 squared.
The cube root of 64 would be what?
Oh, 4.
Just 4.
Oh,
You with me? But because it's negative, we're going to call it what?
negative 4.
Negative 4. That is correct.
-6.
Mikey, what's that? Tell me again. Hold up, Mr. Ward.
Okay, how'd you get 4?
I looked at 4 times 4 times 4 is 64. Do you agree with that? Now, I also told you to write these numbers down because you're going to need them.
Oh, just that.
You with me now? Because 4 cubed is 64. So we're just going backwards now. Do you agree with me? All right. So who am I at now? Mikey, what's the cube root of negative 216?
-6.
Negative 6, because 6 times 6 times 6. All right.
-10.
Negative 10, I'm happy with. Negative 10 is good. Everybody happy so far? All right, Lila, tell me about 34. Oh, give me a break. Wow, that was weak. 1, that shouldn't be on there. 35.
-7.
Amazing, girl. Thank you. -7. All right, Max. Cube root of 125 should be what? Generally, believe it or not, if it ends in a 5, the answer is going to have a what? 5 at the end.
5.
Yes, there you go. 5. Okay. Now 37. Uh-oh. Well, I don't know what that one is. Right. So now everybody's got to look at your calculator, or everybody's got to look at your calculator. All right. Now, don't tell anybody. All right. Don't tell anybody. All right. I want everyone to try to find the cube root button on the calculator. First, everybody look at each button and see if you see a cube root. Do I see a cube root button? Is the cube root button on there?
Yes.
Everybody found it.
Nope.
Okay, well, you got to look. You got to keep looking. Everybody's got to look. I'm not telling you. Did you find yours? Does it have a 3 in the corner? As an X, doesn't it? That's not cube root though. Right? So is there a cube root button? I don't see it. Does everybody agree? But that variable means you can take whatever root you want. Everybody with me? So now, here's what I want everybody to do. I want everybody to do 3, hit 3 on the calculator, then hit X root, and then type in 2197.
You have to put second.
Yeah, you guys, just, I appreciate the help, right? I want you to hit 3. The reason why you're doing 3 is because that tells it to do the cube root, right? Then once you do that, that comes up, and then you just type in 2197. And what was it? Somebody said 13.
Yeah, so you put the 3.
I got it. I'm trying. People are not listening. Right? So clear the calculator. For some reason, you can't follow directions. Clear the calculator. and then hit the 3. Type 3.
There, I did.
Then you do second, and then you do the x square root. Then you type in 2197. And then hit equals. And what comes up? 13. Mr. Ward, is that good?
Yeah.
All right. Well, cube root is 0. Everybody knows the cube root of 0 is what?
It's obviously 40.
Thank you. 0. All right. Now, Mr. Ward, you're going to do, well, we know what the cube root is 6. Yes, thank you. All right, it is 6. All right, Maggie, cube root of -27. -3. Cube root of -1331. Austin. You can use your calculator. No. Cube root. So you put the 3 in. Then you hit the button. I know that. He didn't write it down. And then what is it? -11. All right. Nora, that is 8. All right. Now, the rest of them, we're just going to go around the room and you just practice using your calculator. Make sure you know how to do it. So, Mr. Wilson, to 3 decimal places.
5.896.
5.896. Everybody's good with this on the calculator. Everybody's good. I'm not saying he's right. I'm just asking, is that what you guys got?
Mine, yeah.
And if not, let's fix it. He's wrong if that's not what you got. Everybody should be doing it on the calculator.
How do you do it again?
Same way. 3. You got to do a 3 first. Then you hit the second. Then you do x square root. Good with that?
I still got a different answer.
What did you get?
42.9.
Can't be 42. Are you doing number 43? Cube root of 205.
3.
3.
And the same button that we use for square or cube root?
Cube root.
Oh, I was hitting square root.
Well, why would we, you see what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
We're doing cube roots
And
now.
I got the.
Okay, good. All right. Who is doing 44? I already forgot.
I just did that.
Okay, Mackenzie, 44.
I got 8.325.
8.325. Please make sure everybody's doing this. Everybody's good.
Yes.
Okay, 45 over here. Aiden,
Oh, -3.175.
I got syntax.
that's because you try to put a minus instead of negative.
Um,
All right. Now, does everybody understand that if I did 3.175 times 3.175 times 3.71 or 3.175, it would be close to what number?
32.
32. Thank you. 32. What?
If it's easier to if sometimes it comes out as syntax error, is it fine if you just don't put the negative and then you add the negative at the end?
Just don't forget to add it. All right. Yeah, but syntax error just means the calculator, you telling the calculator to do something, it doesn't know what you mean. All right. So who's up now? Okay, go.
It's 9.683.
9.683. Okay, 47.
I got 10.040.
Anybody else get that?
Yeah.
Okay, Mikey.
-9.028.
Remember, everyone's doing every single problem. You're not writing down Mikey's answer. You got something?
Yeah, I got 9.029.
Now, on a test, would I care if you wrote 9.029?
No.
I really don't. That's why we do the 3 decimal places. Is everybody with me? Yes, the rounding is technical. If you wrote 9.029 and Mikey made a mistake and wrote 9.028, do I really care about Mikey's making? No. What am I checking? I'm checking on whether he knows how to use the calculator. Right? So we don't have to correct the rounding. We don't have to correct the rounding. Now, if Mikey said negative 9.523, is that correct? Not even close. All right, not even close. All right, so 49, Sophia.
I got negative 8.486.
I'm happy with that. All right, Lila.
13.921.
13.921. Everybody agree? All right, and 51.
That's 20.459.
20.459.
Yeah.
Is everybody happy with that? Yeah, I'm totally happy with that. All right, so now, yeah, you guys. All right, what I want to do now is I'm going to drop down to the word problems. All right, number 94. All right, a square covering a square tarp, right? That covers the field when it's raining. All right, so anybody draw a square for me. And that area inside is 441 meters squared. I'm going to let you tell me. The question is, what's the side of the square? What is the side of the square? Tell me.
Just on the other problem is 21, so it's 21 meters width.
I'm asking you, what's the side of the square? Tell me.
What's the side of the
Square. What would be the side of this tarp? You're almost right.
the length of one side?
Yes. I'm listening.
21 meters width.
What?
I don't know.
Nor what?
No, squares are just 21 meters.
Yeah, just 21 meters,
Oh.
right? Because you're measuring a side,
Oh, yeah, I know. I know.
right? You're measuring a side.
I read
So
that.
21 meters is the side. Now, how do we know that? Because look, guys, look right here. This is the important part. We don't know the side. We don't know the side. Come on, pay attention for a second. So the area would be x squared. That equals 441. So now you need to put this in your, this is really helpful. To solve a square, I have to do what? Take the square root. Square root. So that tells me that x is equal to, and if you didn't know what the square root of 441 is, you do square root of 441. And what is that? 21. All right. So anytime they give you now, if they give you the area of a square, you know how to find the side. You do what? Take the square root. That's what you're doing. All right. Now, the volume of a cube. All right. So if we were to construct a cube, right? Let me see if I can draw that for you. And the volume, it says, is 2,744 cubic meters. That's how many little cubes are in there. Now, how do I figure out what the side of the cube is?
So it would be the 2,444. It's for a cube, and then that's 14, like 14.
Right. So
Sorry.
we would say the cube root
Cube root
of
2,744 is
2744. We would say the cube root of 2,744. Now, the reason why we would do that again, I always try to tell kids it's 3-dimensional. All right. So you take the cube root. And again, that was 14. All right. So in other words, it's x cubed equals 2744. So you take the cube root of both sides. All right. The highest observation deck on the Eiffel Tower in Paris is 899 feet above ground. So it says, about how far could the visitor see on a clear day using the equation D, come on, everybody, D equals 1.22 times the square root of the height. Well, what's the height above the ground? Help me, what's the height above the ground? That's exactly correct. And believe it or not, that's a formula, actually. All right, that's a good formula. So now everybody's got to type in on their calculator 1.22 times the square root of 899. And it should be around 36.6. Is that correct? What's the answer approximately?
It's 36.579.
Yeah, 36.579. And that would be in what though? In miles. All right, that would be in miles. Is everybody okay with that? Anybody have any issues? All right, so I did the hard problems there for you. So when you have a square and they give you the area, you take the square root. If they give you the volume, you take the cube root. All right. Now, one last thing before I set you free. I prefer that you try to use these without a calculator. If you get one, you're like, I don't know what that is, then use a calculator, right? But you should guess first and say, okay, I think it's about this, and see how close you are. And when you do that, your brain will start to make connections between perfect squares and what the solution is. Everybody okay with that? Everybody good? All right, what time's the bell ring? Oh, wow, that was good. So you can take 2 minutes here and try to get as much done as you want. Yes, the rest is homework. Everything is homework. All right, it shouldn't take you that long. You got a calculator for the most part. Try to do some without a calculator though, okay, guys? Very good day today. Very good day. Yes, sir.
How do you estimate them to the nearest integer?
Oh, you don't. You always round to 3 decimal places. I forgot to change that in the directions. All right, everybody hear me? You're rounding to 3 decimal places. Rounding to 3 decimal places. In math, we don't round to the nearest integer. All right. So again, your job is to finish up. It seems like there's a lot, but there's not really. That was really good work today, guys. Really good.